everyone. Welcome to Insomnia stream. So it's what is it? March 15th today. Hope you all set your clocks. Daylight savings happen here in the US. So I want to I want to talk about for a second what Insomnia stream is. We do everything here on the stream in the open. So this is a document. You can find it in the here, I'll put it on the screen. The chat.insomnia.rest URL will take you to the Insomnia Slack. So you'll be able to see everything that you need to know about joining the stream. And so what we do here on the stream is we make sure that we cover open source items. So anything that comes in through the open source, we tag with the label. And what I'm showing you on the screen here is this document is a sort of open planning document. Everything about the stream is done in the open. So we plan everything in the open, and then we have these priorities. So the first priority is live requests. If you want to come on the stream, you can talk about any issue or we can work through something. And we've done that with a couple people over the last few weeks. Some people have come on the stream. It's been really fun. The second priority is anything with the label on GitHub. So this is usually where we start. And then any triaging of any open source issues. So this is really focused on open source stuff, open source community. Insomnia is an open source project. It will be that way for forever. So I think it's important to us to make it. Oh, look at that. See, so I have instructions to myself. Make everything super huge. Look at that. Please feel free to keep me honest in the comments. So I should be able to see in chat. Oh, hi there, Code Grammar. Howdy. Could you mention the difference between Insomnia and Postman? I use Postman. I like Postman. I use Insomnia too. I think they're just they're different tools in some senses, and they're the same tool in other senses. Actually, here let's take a look. There's this thing, Postman State of the API. I love that the Postman does this thing called State of the API, and they have like a survey that they put out, and a really helpful way of talking about this stuff. Where is it here? It's called like the landscape, something like that. I haven't looked at this in a super long time. Hey, Victor, welcome to the stream. So, oh, I can't spell landscape. Well, that's probably for the better. Well, anyway, they have a thing on this. This is it in the survey. Well, is this a good quality image? Yeah. So there's lots of things that you need when you're developing APIs. And so Insomnia tries to give you some facilities that will allow you to debug your APIs, but also we do stuff at design time. So you can see here, Postman split up this stuff like they were kind enough to put themselves first in every category. I don't know if I don't know if there's a sort order here or something, but it's all good. API client, API design and mocking, API testing and automation, API documentation. So all of these things are facilities that tools like Postman and Insomnia handle. I think generally the brand of Insomnia is that it's a simpler tool. Like it's simple, not in terms of functionality, but simple in terms of easy to use. So for us, we try really hard to focus on making the UX, like user experience, something that is easy to understand immediately and keep like the visual vomit off of the screen. Sometimes with tools that exist for a long time, there's like lots of little like why is there a weather app in my Git client? I don't I don't know if I need to know the weather when I'm using Git operate. I'm making fun of GitKraken. GitKraken doesn't have a weather app. I love GitKraken, and if you come on the stream, you're going to see it used. So cool. But anyway, that's hopefully that Code Grammar. Hopefully that answers Coder Grammar. Hopefully that answers your question. Come on the stream. If not, oh, we got someone. Howdy.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Welcome back.
Thanks.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Akiva. A couple of weeks ago, I guess I was playing around with Insomnia, and I had a couple of fixes and things that I wanted to add in. So I made the PRs, and I saw that it was getting in on the live stream, and there was a little bit of back and forth the last couple of maybe hours actually.
Yeah.
So,
it got a review. I saw that.
See where it goes. Yeah.
Thanks, Akiva. So okay, just one final thing, and then we'll jump right into that.
Yeah.
The only thing I wanted to say is we have All the information is in that document. We don't need to go over it here, but there's a calendar. If anybody's interested, you can find it in the stream channel in the Insomnia Slack. Like I still have up on the screen, I think. Look at that. I'll take it off now. And so we have a calendar, so you can have on your calendar when the stream is happening, and follow along with it that way. All right, Akiva. So let's go to pull requests here. You can search, but usually I just click this little tab here. So it was this one, fixed request switcher cycling. Is this the one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I saw that. Okay, so here's where we left off last time. I left some instructions for James and Jack, these other developers in the Insomnia team. Jack doesn't look like a monkey with lipstick and a banana, but I like that picture. So we can go through these steps: open Insomnia, create a workspace with 2 requests, the quick switcher, observe that so let's just do this for anybody, because we're going to just test it and hopefully merge this PR pretty quickly here. So I have, I'm opening up Insomnia on production, or at least it should be on production. Yeah, 2022.1.0. You never know what you're going to find when you open up Insomnia on my computer. Yeah, basically, let's go through these steps here. So open up Insomnia on production. There we go. Create a workspace with 2 requests. Well, we have more than 2, but that's okay. Open the quick switcher. So you hit control. I'm on Linux, so you hit Control P. And observe that the up arrow only cycles through I have to create.
You need also
second.
Yeah, you need a second
collection,
I guess.
Okay. So I'll go back to this one, Control P. So hitting the up arrow. So hopefully it shows up well on the stream, because the compression, you never know with compression and light gray on top of white. But anyway, the up arrow cycles through requests, but if I hit the down arrow, it'll also cycle through this other stuff. I don't think we need to do like a code review right now. Well, hopefully not. I didn't really deeply read. That's the bug. I didn't really deeply read Jack's comment here. So Philippe, another person on the Insomnia team, was able to reproduce it, and he tested it. Thank you very much. That's okay. Good to have a second eye. So Jack, here he is. I see 3 issues. Nothing's a showstopper, but hopefully worth some consideration. All right, we can skip it and merge then, right? That's always what I think when people say that. Exception case. Exceptions for control flow is a smell. And this is an early generalization of a function that is only used in one place. A simpler approach would be to sanitize the input if it's unknown of the origin. In this case, it would be the sum of array lengths and unlikely to be less than 0, so no need to sanitize. Interesting. So he's talking about this set active intex. So let's pull up this, what's this thing? Fix switcher. Okay. Okay. Eva, do you understand his feedback? I'm not sure I do.
I think what happened was so in the last stream, or I guess a couple streams ago, whenever we were working on this, we pulled out the sort of the logic of the cycling, and we added a couple test cases, and
this.
I think we also we threw an exception for this type of case, and I think he's saying that it's less than ideal to throw an exception in this type of scenario. Because then you have to catch it, and I don't know. I'm not. I mean, actually, I'm really happy to learn something here. What does it mean to not that throwing an exception in control flow is a code smell?
So control flow, I think what he means in this case is I mean, there's a way in which it doesn't make sense to me, this feedback, because there's everything has control flow at some point. That a literal that's hard coded into the source code maybe wouldn't have control flow, I suppose. But he's saying something is going to course through. So when when we call set state, so when we call set active index, it's going to do some stuff, and it's like a debugger. Like, where does the debugger go? The debugger will go, like, it'll pass control flow into this function, and then with these parameters, and then if this errors, if this throws, it's kind of like, would it make sense to do this? Like this
Right.
would not make sense to do.
Right.
Like, even, I don't know, even if you, like, we're essentially, just to sort of wrap it with a immediately evoked function expression, like, TypeScript's going to say, like, never is not assignable to type number. I mean, like, to Jack's point, actually, we weren't handling this error. We had the util throw, but it wasn't ever being caught anywhere. Like, what we would need to do, we would need to do, like, let's back up here for a second. So let's call it that. And then this is going to be like input. So we'd need to do like a try catch here. And then like handle it somehow. And then like inside, I don't know, inside here, we would have inside here, we would have something else going on. So I think that's what he's saying, is like, this failing, well, this gets called inside of here, execute hotkey, which gets called inside of handle key down. So it's like a key down event should not be able to crash the UI. Like, we should handle it. I think that's his feedback. It's good feedback, actually. I now that I see
I
it.
definitely agree with that. I think that makes a lot of sense. I'm just wondering, it sounds like his feedback wasn't saying you're not handling it. It sounds like it's, you shouldn't be throwing an exception.
Yeah.
Regardless.
I don't know.
Can you jump back to the comment and then we can?
Yeah, let's look. So yeah, he's saying exceptions for control flow. I don't know really what this means, I have to tell you. But anyway, is a smell. And this is an early generalization of a function that is only being used in one place. A simpler approach would be to sanitize the input if it is an unknown origin. In this case, it's the sum of an array lengths and unlikely to be less than 0. So no need to sanitize. Yeah, it's a good point he makes. So like, what's ultimately happening is over here, one second. Tell me to turn up my, thanks, Victor. Tell me to turn up my font. I hope it's big enough. So what's happening here is max count is the sum of array lengths. This number, just because of JavaScript, can never be less than 0. So there's really no chance of this thing being less than 0 here. Like, this is a no op. There's
I mean, it's not no op, because it's because this is exported, right? So now anybody can import it and call it, right? So then you don't know that they're going to only pass in lengths. That's, I think, what the...
I agree with you. This is a place where you and I will agree, and we will both disagree with Jack, probably, where he's saying, well, it's only used in one place, so let's just make it simpler. Nah. Like, I
do generally agree with his, like, the sentiment that...
Sure, me too.
Like, maybe it didn't need to be pulled out, and just leave it in its place where it is until there's another use case to reuse it. You know what I mean?
The reason we pulled it out was to test it, though.
Right.
And so, like, the argument against that would be, if we inline it, which I'm generally a fan of, like, that's always can be much better for readability if you don't have to jump around. Victor said here, exceptions. Let's see if I can put it on the screen. Exceptions in control flow is a code smell, like using the goto operator. I agree. So, like, these are basically the same piece of feedback. This is the thing about the name. I'll be happy to read this in a second, but he's saying keep the test and point it at one-line function in the React component. I'm not sure how we would do this in the scheme of things. We would maybe put it in, yo, what's going on? We got game US USA. So I think,
I think
yeah,
you say
remove
maybe
the
just like,
test.
can you export it, like put it in the same file as the
Yeah,
component that it was related to, just so
there
you
is
can
a
export
way.
it from
Yeah,
there?
I mean, so we could, here, I'll show one way we could do that. We could do like, I don't like doing this myself. We could write a static class member like this. And then in a test somewhere, like let's pull up the tests
Mhm.
for this. They got to be close by, I hope. Here they are. So in the tests for this, we would say, like, instead of wrap to index, we would say whatever request switcher modal dot wrap to index. You know, I don't know. This to me, this is not like, although it is being used here, this is not some like property of a request switcher modal is this functionality. It's like this is a property of like moving up and down in lists. So it's not really
Mhm.
like, I don't know if it makes sense to marry it to this component. And like I said, the only reason that it was pulled out ever is to be able to, to write tests for it in a way that is kind of like ergonomic and makes sense. And
Mhm.
yeah, I think so. I agree with this. Like, so it does seem like there's one change we do need to make, which is like making it not throw. Um, I think what we could do is maybe we could return a sensible value. So like we could say, but the problem is like you don't want to return an index that doesn't exist. So like, uh, there's no index 0 on an empty array, right? So like, just to show what I'm saying real quick, if you have an empty array, let's make this super big. If you have an empty array, let's just wrap it in parentheses. So I have an empty array, and then I index at position 0, you get undefined. And I'm not sure that makes a lot of sense. Like, I would rather say, hey, I know that the thing you passed in, like if I said, is this in, see what happens. Yeah, it's there too. Do you know about this, by the way? It's pretty cool. It just landed in JavaScript recently. Uh,
The at, are you talking about at, or
yeah, the at method, array method.
what is it? Does it do something different than
Yeah,
regular indexing?
yeah, you can do this. Well, actually, this is like confusing with numbers. Let's do A,
I see, you
B.
can pass in.
Getting a little
Yeah,
distracted, but it's cool. Whatever. It's fun to have fun. Yeah. Whereas if you came over here, like you can't. Some languages, I think Go allows this. Some languages you can do this kind of thing. I think you have to
feels
be like
Python-y.
in Go. Yeah. Um, Go experts, please correct me. So yeah, all the same, you can't do that in JavaScript. So the at operator was implemented to be able to go, so you can go like negative indexing. I don't know how it's implemented with like linked lists in JavaScript, like if they're singularly linked or doubly linked, so you can go backwards without having to traverse the whole array. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So okay, do you agree? I think we need to figure out something other than throwing here and update the test.
Well, so do you like, I guess an option is like, if you're passing in a negative size of a list, like just call it 0. Like if max count is less than 0, just max count is equal to 0. Like basically clamp it.
Yeah,
Because
but
like what value is saying that there's max count is supposed to be basically like the length of the list of things that you're wrapping through, right?
mhm,
It seems like it's silently hiding something. It's silently hiding something wrong. Like however this would be used, right? Why
yeah,
if you're
I know what you
if you're
mean.
passing in a negative number, like something is
But
not right because
I see what you mean. Does it make sense to return 0 if we know that the length of the array is 0? Like, to return index 0 if we know that there's nothing in it? This is the problem. Like, I think this is the original issue we hit. It doesn't make sense. Like, let's go to the test. We can just talk about it in
I
terms
don't
of the
think like
test.
I mean, to me, like throwing an exception doesn't sound so wrong, like
Yeah.
because it's hinting at some like there's a pretty big problem, I think.
Yeah.
Why are you passing in max count Nelson 0?
Mm-hmm. Well, let me see it. Let me see if I can ping Jack, see if he wants to come on. Um,
I feel bad. I'm sure there was like other topics that you wanted to get through on the live stream.
no, not at all. This stuff is a pretty high priority. Like I think to me, we were gonna look at it anyway. If it makes you feel better, like look, that's why I pinged you. Yeah. So for anyone watching, like, well, let me finish writing this message to Jack. All right, I peer pressured him. We'll see what he does. So I think there's a team meeting right now. So yeah, we won't expect him. That's okay. No, this is important stuff, and we were gonna look through these things. I want to get these things merged. It's a very high priority of mine. I think this whole stream thing is a waste of everybody's time if this stuff doesn't get merged. It like has to get merged. If we work on it, we need to like or close it. It doesn't like not everything has to get merged, but we need to make forward progress very consistently. So 2 of these are ready to go today, which and including this one. I'm happy about that. All right, he said wrap to index could still be called wrap around. So I'm not going to Google that. I'm not sure. Has different social context meaning. But still the function could just be an assignment that caters to the only the known case wrap around index. Okay, wrap to index. I don't know if around really, it's hard to know. I think wrap well describes the circular nature because that's what wrap means. So wrap around seems kind of like, is there another way to wrap other than around? Like it seems kind of redundant to me. So I'm not sure. I was excited to see he had an idea for a name, but now that I read it, I don't know. It doesn't seem very good to me.
I think this is going to be your fight because
All right. Yeah.
I wasn't as much into like the name. I mean,
we can change
I mean,
it.
I think naming things is important. It's just like I
Yeah.
said. Actually, in my comment, I basically wrote like I have like me and you have different stakes in getting this in, right? Like
Right. I don't
for
really
me,
care about
it's a fixed, and for you, there's like maintaining, like
I
maintenance
think,
issues that you're going to deal with that I won't.
the reason I wouldn't feel, this is something I really love about our team culture. Like the reason I wouldn't hate to. Oh, okay, Jack said he's in a meeting, but he'll be in a couple minutes. No, okay, no worries. We can. Uh, the thing I like about the team and the way we handle stuff like this is it's okay. Like he did the best thing that you could do to communicate, which he said nothing is a showstopper, but worth some consideration. Well, we've definitely been considering it, but he's not blocking us. And I think part of the reason he's the subtext here that I just want to say, read the quiet part out loud, is if we have a problem with it, we'll just make another PR and fix it later. It's not like set in stone just because this PR emerges, like what the name of the function is.
Sure,
We can change the name of the function
indeed.
anytime. So I love this team because I think we don't get hung up on stuff like this a lot. Like we talk about it and we try to figure out the best way forward. And sometimes we don't find the best way forward the first go, or sometimes we think something's good and then we merge it and we live with it for a month or 5 and we realize we hate it and we have to go fix it. So that's fine too. So he gave some feedback, keep the test and point it at a one-line function in the React component. I think we talked about why I don't want to do that with the static component, and then remove the tests and util and just use something like the above one-liner with a comment like keep active index within max bounds. No, dude, I don't want to do that either. I want it to fail hard. I want it to fail like ugly cry at runtime or like at develop time. If somebody's using this, that's to me a better way to swing. And then okay, so I think we're ready. I'm gonna a quick update branch here, and then enable auto merge, and this is gonna merge. And he said, oh, Jack said, okay, he's in his meeting, but he said I was suggesting to inline the mod in the component rather than make it a util and a test. Okay, I think we understood that. So he can rewatch the stream later if he wants to see what our reasoning was. But okay, so this is gonna I'm gonna enable auto merge. What's going on here? Oh, it's so big. I don't know how to. So we don't need. Did I really co-author something? Okay, I
Yeah,
guess
sure.
doesn't matter. You're gonna have the attribute. The way that works here is that you get the attribution. Um,
That's not an important thing for me. So
cool. All right,
you
good.
can you can take all the credit if you want.
Me neither.
I
I
really
I have been surprised in the past. I only say that because I've been surprised in the past how important that is to some people. I mean, I understand it being important. That's fine. I've done open source work and wanted to be credited. That's cool, no problem. But yeah, so it's come up a couple times. Like I've rebased things for someone, and it looks like it's going to be my commit, but actually it goes by the PR. Okay, so that's gonna merge. You're welcome to stick around. It would be cool to have another person to bounce ideas off of this. The next one we're gonna look at, I think, is this circular. This not this one. Where is it? Circular references is ready to go, ready to merge. I think in open API specs. So yeah, I won't make you say one way or the other, but feel free to hang around.
yeah, I'm gonna
For
stick
this
around. Why not?
we have this package called Insomnia Importers. It's very interesting because in Insomnia you can import from. Do we show the list? We've gone back and forth a couple times. Yeah, we do show the list now. Let me make this a little bigger. Um, so there's lots of things like we're trying to service quite a lot of different use cases. Can I make this any bigger? No, I can't. We added something in the most recent release of Insomnia to make this bigger. Um, so to make the maximum zoom level bigger. So you can import from, we have these different Insomnia formats. I'm not sure how useful this is to end users to know the different Insomnia versions we've had over the years, but a Postman environment thing, which is like a separate kind of thing. HAR formats like you get from Chrome, curl, Swagger, OpenAPI 3.0, WSDL, which is this like, who makes that? IBM special thing. I don't think it's really used anymore, but we support it all the same. So when you click any of these import things, it runs through a specific package in the platform that is directly responsible for all of these kinds of imports. So we kind of like cordoned that logic off from the rest of the app because it's sort of its own thing, and we want to have our own tests and fixtures and stuff for it. So is this it? Insomnia importers, but it's hard to. I'm gonna make this like a. Don't hate me, anyone. I'm gonna make this like a tiny bit smaller. So
I
I
was
can
gonna say
have
you have. I think you have plenty of
plenty of room.
leeway here to make this even smaller if it's like
Okay.
easier for
We'll
your
see how I
environment.
survive like
Seems
this.
pretty big.
Larger is always better because people, watch on their phones. I watch stuff like this on my phones anyway at night under the
Yeah.
covers.
Okay.
Yeah. So all the same, we have this OpenAPI 3 file, for example, and it has a fairly like if you look at the convert logic, it has a fairly like importer.convert is the interface that we make them all satisfy. So they have like a convert function. It's very simple. They're usually strings, input string, output string. They're like YAML files or something, JSON files. So all the same, that's how that works. And then so this package uses a recursive approach to generate simple parameters or sample parameters for requests. Swagger parse does not ignore the circular reference and includes them in a final object. So like final object, like JavaScript object, not JSON or something, which is then processed by the generate parameter example function, causing the Stack Overflow. So there's some examples here used to test. Actually, before we read this, I should pull this PR up. Let's do that. Circular. I cannot make GitKraken any bigger, unfortunately. Anybody? I guess I pay for GitKraken, so maybe I should complain to them about that. Circular, ignoring circular. Okay. So I can double click to check that out. Reset to that branch. Great. So what happened before is we looked at this last time on stream. We read through it and read through the code, but we couldn't reproduce it. And Mr. Snicks, the PR contributor, it was kind of a beautiful synergistic thing. He rewatched the stream. He's like the most thorough guy ever. We really appreciate his help. He puts in great PRs. so he rewatched the stream and found what I did wrong, which is like the most bonehead possible thing wrong, which is that I didn't clear my, like I didn't rebuild the app basically. So
By the way, while
the
you're doing that, excuse me, I have to just step away for a second, but we'll
okay.
continue with the live stream.
So the package, or the package JSON script that we use this hard reset thing, which you can see here. It runs 3 things. It does clean and bootstrap and app start. And what they basically do in sequence is the clean function, the clean script will delete your node modules folder in every package, and it will also, I see my frame rate dropping as it's building. That's funny. It will also so it deletes your node modules folder, and it will also clear out any built files. So it will find the build artifacts, uses TSC or Webpack in pretty much every case to do this. It will find whatever the build assets are. Usually it's in like a dist folder or a build folder, but not always. And then, oh, hey Philippe.
Oh.
So I was just saying what clean does. And then the bootstrap will run through and rebuild everything. So bootstrap, it reinstalls. If you look at it, it's up here. It'll do an npm install, a Lerna bootstrap, and then it will use Lerna to run bootstrap in every package. And then app start is the last piece of this. App start starts the app. It's a little centric on Insomnia app to do this way, but that's how it works. So I didn't do that in the prior stream, and that's what the issue was. So why did this happen? Okay, let's. I read all of this the other day, and I really appreciated how thorough it was. Don't be sorry for the long answer. Okay, so let's pull up some of the examples. Like, I think we should only need one of them, but maybe we'll test more as time goes. So I'm going to copy paste all of this. I'm here on Insomnia on production, and let's do like, I guess I can do it from here, from clipboard. And it says, your clipboard does not contain a valid specification, maximum call stack exceeded. Okay, great. So then we're going to see Insomnia is going to start up somewhere around here in a little bit. And we're going to try exactly the same process. Let's get these other ones open in case we, they're text file. Oh, and I've already downloaded them. Okay, well, whatever. So how did he fix it? Yeah, so it was a pretty easy fix in this case. There's a functionality that piece of functionality we weren't leveraging inside the OpenAPI Swagger parser validator thingy, and it allows you to dereference circular references. If there's so this happens if you have like a ref that's pointing, or a column or something that's pointing to something else, and they're both pointing back at each other. And so like this is just fine. Circular references for in-memory objects are totally fine. There's no problem with that. They're just references. Programming languages don't care about that part. But when you go to serialize that, now you have an issue, because there's no way. Well, I guess there is a way to serialize it, but it would take infinity time to do so. So, all right, let's try it one more time. We'll come over here from clipboard. Do you want? All right, we're already in good shape. So, do you want to import to a new or existing workspace? It's going to go there. Oh, did I? How would you like to import? UTrack, REST. Let's do design document so we can see it. Okay. Here we go. It's very slow.
It's gonna take a while. Those collections are massive.
Oh.
And in my case, for instance, I get warnings saying Insomnia stop responding and whatnot, because they're really massive.
Oh, and here's my warning. Great. Yeah, this is a fun thing where we have some plans actually for dealing with very large specs. It's kind of tough because like you can virtualize on the screen, and you can do, there's things you can do in order to sort of like sidestep the issue of performance, because there's two kinds of performance really we're dealing with. There's the first kind of performance, which is like showing pixels on the screen. That one's actually super easy to solve, I think, for very large things. Well, now what? I think I'll just hit cancel next time. Well, we know that it imported. I'm not sure how useful it is. like that. But let me see if I can open this one. So is this one, so cancel. This one, 7,000 lines, that's not so long. So I'm gonna like kill this. We have to restart it from here. Thanks for testing this, by the way, Philippe.
Yeah. I also I added a comment to the pull requests again, and I compare both of them. So one of them we don't see like the fix, we don't see the error anymore, and yeah, well, that's the one.
Oh, one of them we do.
Yeah, the old one. So latest beta in this case. So if you download the beta for
Right,
2022.2, you can still reproduce it. Yeah.
Okay. But this PR fixes it.
Yeah, exactly.
Great. Okay. I thought you meant that one of the specs are still error.
No.
Okay. So I don't remember if I copied this. It looks like I did. Let's do it again. Is it going to try to, well, now this is going to be an issue, is it not? So I opened a sufficiently large, how large is like,
I mean, if you look at it in terms of file size, it's not that large. It's just 200 kilobytes, but it's enough to cause damage.
okay. So I'm going to use a functionality of the developer terminal here, but I can't. Well, there is an escape hatch, but it's a pretty nasty one. But let's see here. Let's try one more time. I wonder if that clear that I just sent in actually made its way to the mothership. We'll find out. It looks like it says Insomnia up here and not my collection. That's a pretty bad situation to be in, though, as an end user. I don't think we've had anybody report experiencing this. Like if you open a spec that's so large that it will crash the app, then even if you cancel reloading while it's non-responsive, when the app loads again, when it boots again, yeah, we're here at the same thing. Yeah.
Data held behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'll show you. So I'm gonna go here in my. Let's go to I'll bring it on the screen in just a second. .config. Where is it? Here. So I'm in my .config. Whatever Meduzel, and then I can go to in my home directory, basically, and I can go to Insomnia app, and then I can go. Here's a way I'll show like a really hacky way to fix this problem without deleting things. Well, without deleting other things. So I can go to, it's actually because I imported it as a design document. If I had imported it as a request collection, then it wouldn't have been non-responsive. It's the design document part that's the issue. So all the same, so I can come over here to API spec.db. This is it looks more fancy than it is. We try to keep things really simple around here. Yeah, temporarily raise limit of what it will display. So this is utrack. Okay, so here we see this is a JSON line. So basically you can see this is new line delimited JSON. I think this has a standard and the JSON is it called, or there's another one that's similar. So here's the entire spec for new line delimited JSON. Language specification, line separator is new line. Fun times. So basically, this is our database object of all of the specs that we have. That a little hack that you can do, because there's another one down here, and like I don't know, I'm not going to read every line here. I can double click on or triple click rather on that line and just hit delete. And that should solve the vast majority of the issue. So if this is Insomnia on production. So if I start up again, it's going to be pointing at a spec that doesn't exist. I don't know if that will cause an error, but we'll see. Hopefully we catch that. Did I save it? What is this? Is this the thing? Did I not save it? I didn't save it.
Maybe you had 2 of them or something.
Maybe I did. No, this looks like a different one. This is not that U-track one. Okay. It says that a difference was here. Let's reload this time and see. So we have that. Oh, was that it above this? Let's go up. Let's pull up Insomnia. Okay, here we are. We deleted the spec. We just deleted this, basically, is all we did. But the debug, see, they're all here. If we had just made it a request collection, Insomnia can handle this part just fine. No problem here. We can have like thousands here. I think it's no issue. Okay, back to business, right? Let's close this. Nevertheless, that's a funny word to put in a UI. I don't need this anymore. I don't need anything. All we need is love. Isn't that a song? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a song.
Okay.
No, I'm not sure if you can sing it because probably we'll get copyrighted or something.
My singing will be so good and so on in tune that, yeah, we're just gonna get flagged. That's true. What's that? We have the creator config or whatever. What's the name of that standard? Okay, great. This one works. Let's say new, and we'll say request collection this time because I want to keep this train moving. Okay, great. So that works. And then let's try the third one. Where are we here? NDJSON. It's called OpenAPI 1. Okay. There we go. Let's also create from clipboard new, and then we'll do request collection this time too. Boy, this takes quite a while. I'm glad at least we get some indication that something's happening. Okay. Kambuda BPM rest. What is this? Okay. Signal. I have no idea what this is. It's kind of interesting. Well, anyway, task identity link. I don't know. Well, great. That's great. And if we had the spec, we would be able to see. If we had chosen request collection, we'd probably be able to see that. Or I'm sorry, design document.
Design document. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm happy with this. This is this is a bug on production, and it's fixed with this PR. So I think I already reviewed it on the last stream, maybe last week. Philippe, you tested it. I just tested it as well off of the PR. I think we are completely ready to go. Not that there was that much that changed, but small changes can lead to grave errors. So you got to always be on the lookout. I always like to show people this. Do you know the go-to fail? You guys heard of that? I think it's known by that name.
Yeah, from like this was like 10 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Go-to fail. Nope, not this. Maybe one of these. Maybe this one. This is the good site. I love sites that are just raw, like somebody wrote HTML in a text editor. That's what this site is. But yeah, basically the go-to fail, I think is important for everyone to know about. It was a very bad security, like super duper bad SSL vulnerability that in some Apple code. And here is the code. So if some condition go to fail, and then this go to fail line was duplicated. But what happened is, the way this works is, what language is this? It doesn't really matter. It's exactly the same way in JavaScript. You'll just execute this code, and then it will go do this anyway. So basically, it will never error. It will never do the cleanup. Or it will, yeah. So right.
I think the issue is that there's the second go-to fail was not
is always executed.
Although it's indented, it's not really indented because
Right.
it's not really part of that if statement, right?
It's not
Because
part
there's
of
no
that
curly
scope.
brace. So it's gonna go to fail no matter what, and not
Right. So
if the check is not
cause the function to return 0, which means no error when the rest of the checking was skipped. As a result, invalid certificates were quietly accepted as valid. Oops. But I like this document because it goes through all of the different ways that this could have been caught, negative testing, test cases, properly detecting unreachable code, which like all of the code after that line is unreachable. Always use braces. I'm a big fan of that. That's a static analysis thing. Use coverage analysis. That would be helpful. Forbid misleading indentation. Like that's just linting, basic linting, which like clearly was not happening. Detect duplicate lines. Change error handling idiom or switch to a safer language to use exceptions. Okay, more static analysis things. Access. I mean, it just goes on and on. Manual review could have helped. So anyway, I always think about that particular one. Okay, so these two PRs are on the highway to wouldn't be the highway to hell. What highway would it be? Well, they're moving. We can do this. We have 14, 13 minutes here left. We can take a look at this one. Header auth. Have you looked at this one, Philippe?
Yep.
We looked at it last week. Oh yeah, not last week. This was like a while back. Okay. So this is like we need to loop back. Postman import. This is similar to the one we were looking at a second ago. Postman.
I remember more or less that one, and the idea behind it was, in the case where Postman returns some authentication hidden inside a header as text, what that PR is doing is it's parsing that string that comes in that header and setting it up, I think, for OAuth v1 or v2, something like that.
Okay. Yeah, and then
so it's like an edge case of a Postman export.
We were going to write more tests, is what we were going to do.
Exactly.
Right. Okay, Postman. Okay, so I'm going to put that down. We can clear this stuff away. Okay, Postman. TS. Wait, I'm going to make this a tiny bit smaller. Okay. So I said, first thing I did, by the way, I'm not gonna say I'm angry or anything, but it's very friendly if when you push a PR to any open source project that you push it to a different branch than the main branch, because this creates, although protected branches are usually in play, this can create some accidental hazards if somebody actually pushes to this, like I'm trying to push to this develop branch on his fork. So in our case with Insomnia, the develop branches are where we develop from. It's our main or master or whatever branch. I get very paranoid about that. So I did this thing in GitKraken to set the upstream just in case I push that way. I don't push to our develop. In reality, it would ask me like, hey, you have to force push in order to do this operation. So, not a huge deal, but I should be able to rebase this as well. Let's see. Yeah, we can. So I'm gonna set upstream for the 4th time because I'm like super paranoid, and I'm gonna push, and it's gonna say your local development branch is behind remotes, and then there's the name of the Sergey Land. I shouldn't try to say names. That's what I should learn. Anyway, Sergey's behind his branch. And I have to force push in order to do this operation. It's destructive. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. And so it's going to push to his fork. But we see here that that's his fork. And then Insomnia, which I have as origin, is, just is still there with the Kong icon. Otherwise, that icon would have moved up here, and you would promptly see me panicking. So, okay. We were making tests for this Postman guy. I need to get better at reading. I need like a bigger screen, maybe. We'll put that request in. Who's got the credit card? It's hard for me to see on this screen, but that's okay. So big. Handles no token. We wrote a test for that. Handles multiple spaces. Did we write all these? I don't think we wrote these. We wrote all of these. Oh, we must have.
I think we were doing like live coding with,
Oh, yeah.
and even I think it was you, me, and James, and we were going through it using live code of VS
Oh,
Code.
yeah. All right. Well, there is a live share. So if anybody's interested I'll put it up on the screen again. There is a live share. You can go to chat.insomnia.rest, and there's a live share that I posted right before the stream started that's running right now in my code editor. Where is it? Burp. Here it is. Nobody's here right now, but anyway, if anyone's interested, you can participate that way. Okay, so we need to write more tests, is what I remember. This is going to quickly become the highest priority for stream items because the other two are going to merge. Let's see here. So if I recall, there were fixtures. Yeah, this is the from headers thing. There were fixtures, but not individual tests. You know, fixtures are really cool, and we like having fixture tests because they're more real than unit tests often are, because like you could just drop some scary big long thing and then make sure that it does the basic stuff you want it to do with that big scary thing. But the downside, right, is that you can't like specifically ensure, like the fixture should never change then at that point. And if it does change in the future, it's kind of like a package lock, you know, or a YAML lock file. People tend to just not look at it if the fixture gets updated or needs to be updated. I think unit tests are a lot easier to understand what they're actually testing. So this was for importing headers. This was for the bearer header, and then there were multiple of these, right? So import. So let's go to that Postman schema function. Oh, describe. Oh, this is just to create a Postman schema. Okay. We don't care about that. This is showing what's different. We want to do import request item. Yes, and then there were a bunch of these, right? Import authentication. This was the one. So we did bearer. We need to do. Did we do? Let's collapse this. We didn't do anything else. So let's try to like write one more. Let's try to do. Does that sound right to you, Philippe?
I was muted. Yep.
So then let's see what these guys were in here. It returns a simple token. Okay, so we're testing this code path. Import basic authentication from header, auth header. Okay, let's go there. Right. So it's going to take an auth header string, and it's going to return this thing. So we want to see that. Okay. How did we do it before? So boy, I really need to make, okay, maybe instead of making it smaller, oops, maybe I can open it on the side, and we can make vertical, and I can wrap. Let's see if this like looks completely terrible. I know some people don't like seeing wrapped anything. It doesn't bother me a lot, but let's see if we can just proceed this way. So it handles, returns a simple, what is the name of this thing for basic auth? Like this, just a basic, okay. I don't know. We can make the name better maybe as time goes on. Welcome to the party, Philippe. Thank you for joining the live share. Okay, so
it took me a while. I was having issues with the with joining. It was always redirecting me on the browser and forcing me to log in and whatnot. So now I'm able to
you gotta
use
love that request stance. It's really funny how many prompts you have to go through. So the header here, I'm glad we have this like all TypeScript enabled. So the value. So okay, how did we detect basic auth? Header key value. We're switching on. Okay, so we just switch on it having basic at the beginning. So okay, value basic key. That is for sure going to be that way. Then we have Postman, schema, requests. That's all good. We can inline that. It probably wouldn't look so wouldn't look so scary if we were zoomed out normally. Postman, new. I guess I could have copy pasted a lot of this, but anyway, that's okay. Oh, import. I wasn't reading. Import Postman schema, and then Postman.import basic authenticate. Well, we don't want to do that. We want to do import request item. We want to make sure that it does the path that we're right. Yeah.
Yep. And then we only fetch the authentication inside it.
And then what is this parent ID? There's no parent ID in this case. Okay. And then we want to assert. Yeah. When you assert, you make an ass out of E, R, and T. Say right? No. Do they have that? Akiva's laughing. Do they have that phrase? You're in Portugal, right, Philippe?
What's the phrase again? Because
when you assume, you make a, because assume, I don't even remember what the phrase is. ASSUME. You make an ass out of you and me.
No, we don't have a in Portugal, but that's a pretty.
Probably wouldn't translate.
I learned something new about American culture today.
Okay, disabled. So what is it going to return here? So when we had bearer auth type, it was all of this stuff. So we're going to do basic auth is going to return. Let's put this over here for a second. It's going to return type basic. Yeah. Disabled false username. Oh, we're running out of time. That's okay. We'll run this test. So what's the regex going to do here? Auth string exec on auth string. Auth string is buffer from. So it's finding this white space, one or more white space and replacing. Okay, so that's just sanitizing the white space. Fine. Yep. And then from that index +1 until the end, it's going to unbase 64 it. And then, okay, so we need to make a username, and then it's gonna separate it. Okay, it's gonna match anything one or more times up until this, and then it's gonna grab the rest. Okay, so here's gonna be my username. We're still in the arrange here. Const username equals Ziltoid and password the omniscient. Okay, and then we're gonna make the token. Actually, the token should be up here. Let's bring all this stuff here.
Yep.
This is going to be username password.
Actually, it's gonna be encoded, so you'll still need to encode.
Oh yeah. All right. We still need to do this part, but yeah.
Yeah.
So we need to wrap that like that and like that. Okay, and then what is it? A to B is what it's called in JavaScript. Yeah.
I have no idea. I was opening like the shell here, and it was just gonna do base 64.
No, bro, we're going full bar. What's the thing? Buffer. We have to make buffers. This function is only provided for compatibility with legacy web APIs. Should never be used in new code. because they use who's they? Who's they? What do you mean they? Use strings to represent binary data and predate the introduction of typed arrays in JavaScript. For code using Node.js APIs, convert between the should be formed using buffer
from,
and then wait, and then buffer dot
64
toString. So if I do, what's going to happen here? If I do,
you can do something like this, and the string here would be,
or it's going to be A to B. Okay, what? That doesn't look right. B to A. That looks right. It was B to A. Did I get it right? A to B. Oh, you're writing it. Thank you. Right, and where the string is this part.
Is the colon also supposed to be encoded?
Colon. Yeah, I think so.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we know for sure that it is, because what happens is it unbase64s the whole thing, and then it runs the regex on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, good question. I wouldn't have thought it. I wouldn't even have thought that would have just. I would have been scratching my head if it wasn't working that way, because I wouldn't have thought to check that. Okay, buffer. What? This is the song and dance we have to do. toString. Okay, I just want to see, just because I'm buffer A B C D, and what is it? Buffer dot from. And then
Base64 is a string.
Base 64. And then dot toString. Buffer from, yeah, so this doesn't work. This is not the thing that it said to do, though, is it? It said let's read. Buffer.toString base 64.
That's if you have like a buffer instance.
Yeah, right. We have to put
you're in the browser, so it says buffer is not defined.
Oh,
I think you need to be. It's a node thing.
Okay, whatever. At least we found.
Just try in the node REPL, just if you want to make sure.
Base. Well, I guess the equivalent of that would be to just run the test, right? I was just curious, I suppose, is what it comes.
Do you have Wallaby running?
I have Wallaby installed, but it just doesn't work well. I don't know. I've not been having a good time. Expect with it. I really I hope that we get that working soon, because I really love Wallaby. I have to open like a separate package, and it's like a whole big thing, and we're out of time anyway. We're 3 minutes over here, but let's run this here. Clear. Okay, npm run test. Npm run prefix or packages. Packages Insomnia app. Then we get all the nice just syntax highlighting.
If you do what you did, like buffer.from, and you're taking the that string and base64 encoding, and then you're doing toString, that's gonna decode it, and you're just gonna get back the original string that you put in. Is that what you wanted? I thought you wanted the base64 encoded string, right?
You're right. We don't want that. Yep, this test should fail. Look at that. Okay. Where is it? Token Ziltoid. Where are you, Ziltoid? We want this. But is this going to be a buffer? This is going to be a buffer. So we want to say dot.
Buffer, yeah.
Oh, so Philippe was right all along.
But if you do that, just toString,
it's going to give me a string of the base64 encoded thing. They all passed? How do they all pass? That's not good. Oh, maybe it doesn't matter if you put, okay, actually that makes a bit of sense. We didn't decode it, we encoded it, and then the toString thing will still give us a base. So like, let's see what the function actually did to decode it.
So you're gonna get like a UTF-8 encoding?
Where is buffer from base 64 to string? So how do you encode? What's going on here? B to A. Buffer from string. Buffer to string. We're going the wrong direction. So we create a buffer.
I think
so maybe what we do
what
is
you need is I think what you need to do is buffer.from, and then you shouldn't pass in a second argument, which will give you the buffer, and then two. Yeah, that's exactly right.
yeah.
I'm doing it in the node REPL right now, and it's giving me now like a base
that's why
64 encoded.
Okay, so it was wrong, but also right. So we were telling it base that the encoding. Okay, so by passing base 64 as a second parameter here, we were telling it the encoding of the string that we passed in here was
Right.
base 64, when in fact it was not, which makes me wonder why the test passed. That's kind of weird. Boy, it's funny. Whenever the tests are running, my frame rate is like seconds per frame. I think I'm still frozen, right? Well, as long as you guys can see something.
Yeah,
I can see your screen. I can hear you fine, but I can't
it's
see
kind
your
of
face
frozen.
mark.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Your face looks
Yeah.
like.
And it worked before. So okay, so that's good. And if we take off this base 64 here, we should see it. Let's do that. This will be our final action. We should see that it fails because there's no base. It never got base forward or base or like unbase 64, if that makes sense. So, okay. Well, while that's going, I just want to say to wrap up. It's been on the screen for a long time. I'm sorry, I forgot to hide it. That's probably all for the better. Thanks for coming to the stream, everyone. Thank you for the chat. It's nice to see people chatting and asking questions. And we'll be doing this again. If you have any questions or you want to see what's going on with the stream, you can go to chat.insomnia.rest. There's a stream channel there in the Slack workspace, and all of the information that you need, a calendar, Google Calendar, invites, YouTube links, streams, everything else is all going to be there. So let's see, 40 seconds into this test suite run. Okay, they passed, so we are in trouble. Something is wrong here, but we'll keep looking at it. It's not the end for this PR. What we hope to do is write tests for every single thing in this switch case, wherever it is, somewhere in here. There's a switch case of of all the different types. We've done bare. We've been working on basic, and we're going to do these other three. And I think there's one more. OAuth. Yeah, OAuth has two subtypes. So yeah, we're going to test all this stuff, and then we'll merge the PR. So cool. Thanks for coming, everyone. Akiva, it's nice to see you. Thank you again for coming on. And until next time. Bye, everyone.